So I've gotten the question on a lot of my videos on TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere, asking me, would I ever consider quitting my full-time job just to be a reseller or to be an entrepreneur? I've owned a lot of my businesses for a lot of years, and short answer to that is probably not. I probably will never quit my 9 to 5 job. And when I tell people that, they're very shocked because they're like, TJ, you seem to be doing very well, successful with your businesses, and you're making money on all these different platforms. And I think what people don't realize, people probably had never heard my story, so they don't know, what my thought process is and why I probably would never quit my 9 to 5 to go be a full-time entrepreneur. Now, I apologize. I'm kind of talking weird probably because I just got like a bunch of dental work done, but I felt compelled to make this video. So I turned the camera on and we're just going to make it. So if we go all the way back, like to my childhood, I had a pretty good childhood. I mean, we was pretty middle class. My dad was a full-time electrician. My mom worked in a doctor's office, and they was always pretty much employed. But one thing that I don't really talk about is there was a dynamic with my dad that I'm not really comfortable to share right now, but there was, we did struggle a bit probably in my middle school to high school age. Our family struggled quite a bit monetarily, financially. And I saw my dad working as an electrician, but he was laid off a lot of the time, so he would maybe work 2 months out of the year, maybe 3 months out of the year. And I always felt like my mom struggled to make sure that we had enough, make sure that we had food on the table, to make sure that we had clothes. We got new clothes every year, every school year. We got backpacks, we got school supplies. We was able to go on trips, those types of things. And I felt like there was like a 10-year span where my mom was really like kind of the breadwinner. She was really providing for the family, and we struggled. It was a struggle. It was struggle enough to where I felt it as a kid, And so whenever I became old enough to work, I didn't want to have that struggle anymore. So I started working like when I was 14 years old. Actually 13. I started working when I was 13 years old. I got a job with my dad with his company, probably illegally. 13 years old, and during the summertime, I was working as an electrician. They paid me $9 an hour. I got like a paycheck. I remember getting a bunch of money, and I would save. Like I would save every paycheck that I got. I would just put it up. Like I didn't have a bank account, but I would have the money literally in my closet on a top shelf. So I did that job the summer of when I was 13, and then when I turned 14, I went and got a job at Taco Bell. People always hear me say, I was laughing because I always talk about when I worked at Taco Bell, because I worked at Taco Bell for a very long time. I worked at Taco Bell from the time I was 14 to the time I was 20. So 6 years, it was a 6-year span where I worked at Taco Bell. And I worked at Taco Bell. I also had like little side gigs working with eBay. I was selling cell phones. Like I would get cell phones from Sprint. Like I would upgrade my phone, then I would sell my phone on my old phone on eBay. So I've had an eBay account since 1999. So I was like, 13 years old when I got my eBay account. And I always had this entrepreneurial spirit, just in the way of I wanted to better not only my situation, but my family's situation. So when I moved out, when I was 18 years old, there was a whole situation that happened when I moved out. As to why I moved out, and the reason is because my parents' house got foreclosed on, and so we all had to move. And I moved out. I got my apartment, and my parents' financial situation did improve from there, but I never wanted to be in that space. I always wanted to be in a space of providing. I want to be able to provide for my family. I want to be able to provide for myself. And I didn't ever want to struggle. So that was the moment, and that was kind of the brew that made me an entrepreneur. Made me want to start all these different businesses and always have multiple streams of income. I didn't ever want to have one source of income. So me being the smart guy I was, I started being an electrician. So when I was 20, I went to electrical apprenticeship. I went and did electrician work, but also I want to have a separate kind of path if I needed to take it. So I did go and get my degree. So I have a video kind of talking about my degree and what I thought about it. I made it years ago, like probably 7 years ago. And I got my degree. I ended up getting all the way up to a master's degree. I got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. But I also finished my electrical school. So I was an electrician for about 10 or 11 years. And then I moved into a career at the place that I work at right now. And the place that I work at right now, it's like one of the largest utilities in the United States. And it's a very good career path. I mean, the way that I got up there is I got laid off myself. And I remember when I got laid off, it was probably one of the darkest moments in my life because I remember just not knowing what I was going to do. I had an apartment, I had a car, I didn't have any income, I didn't have any money. And I felt like I was going down that same path as my parents when, kind of when they ran out of money and my dad was laid off and they didn't have any money. I was feeling that anxiety, that angst, to be better than, and I wasn't being better than. So I took a call up to where I work at right now. A call is basically if you're in a union, they give you a referral and they say, hey, you can go work at this place. So I took a call up to this place. I was off for maybe 2 months. So I had to struggle for 2 months, and it was a struggle. My mom was a very solid part of me getting through that dark time in my life because she always was there to help me. Gas money. There was times where I didn't have any. I would take my debit card and I would try to get $1 on my debit card and swipe it to fill up my gas tank so I can get to work. And I would just overdraw my account. And, that was kind of a cycle for many years for me. I didn't have any money. And so when I started working at this place, I really thought about, okay, I want to establish a career where I know every 2 weeks I'm going to get a paycheck, or every week I'm going to get a paycheck. And I've been able to kind of cultivate that over I started working up there in 2013. And so over the last, 11 years, I've been able to kind of cultivate that. And now I'm at a really good place in my career. So, I don't care to tell how much money I make because I feel like that's a big part of my decision or my thought process when I think about not wanting to quit my job or not wanting to quit my 9 to 5. So I make over $200,000 a year, about probably $205,000 a year, and I get paid every 2 weeks, and I know exactly how much my paycheck is going to be. I have health insurance. I'm building my retirement, and it would be very difficult for me to put that down and to walk out on my own. It's like an insecurity. It is. I'm very insecure about being able to provide for myself and my family. I really am. So that's kind of why I wouldn't do that. Now, the money that I make from my little side gigs and stuff, I enjoy that money. I take that money and I buy, you see my downstairs, you see my rooms and my 3D prints and all my little gadgets and all that stuff that I have. I fund that stuff with my side jobs, my side gigs. Also I'll turn a lot of it into content and I make content about it, so it would be very difficult for me to, it would be difficult for me to quit. I don't think that I would ever quit this job unless I won the lottery, and I would probably still want to work because I feel like I would get bored by not having a job. But I don't know. What do y'all think? What if you are an entrepreneur and you also have a full-time job? Would you ever quit your job? Why? What drives you to not quit your job? Just for me, it kind of goes back to my family and being able to provide for my family. Now, of course, my mom and my dad they're gone. They passed on, and so my mom was always like my safety net. She always was there for me when I didn't have anything, and she was always there to back me up. If I didn't have enough money for food, which happened a lot of times, if I didn't have gas money, if I didn't have anything, she was always there, ready, and she was observant of that. She would know, TJ, you don't have any money, so here's $100, here's $200, here's my card, just get whatever you need. And I don't have that, with my mom. Because of course she's not here anymore. So that's a big driver into the insecurity of leaving a 9 to 5 where it's not necessarily guaranteed that I would be able to work there forever, or that I would never get fired, or I would never lose my job and get, laid off or whatever. That can still happen. But the likelihood of me getting laid off from the job that I'm at right now is very low. It's very low. So I like having that security. I like knowing that every 2 weeks I'm gonna get that paycheck. I like knowing that when I go to the doctor, like today, I got insurance. I'm able to pay whatever I need to pay. I can go get my medication. I just left Walgreens, got medication. Those are kind of some of my reasons. So I just want to just kind of get that off my chest and talk about it. I've seen a lot of videos just kind of talking about their why, as to why they do what they do with their 9 to 5 and their business that they have. And I want to share that. I apologize if I'm talking outside of my mouth, because my mouth is so numb right now. So that is it for today's video. I will see you guys on the next one. I'll be sharing some more of my story. Some of y'all don't know me. Some of y'all have never met me before. And I want to make more videos where I just kind of show you guys who I am in my story. So I'll see y'all next time. Peace.